means we have to remember all these things. I want you to remove the mind of tribalism or fear, remove being a Dinka, remove being a Nuer, and come, just listen to me. Let me take you through something very interesting that I found out last night. So remove tribalism now, with you in this show. Try to put tribalism aside and look at me as Ruth, and you be a South Sudanese, and let's go through this journey that I want to take you through. So far, I want to remind you how many days of South Sudan have since we got since the 2013 war. Since the 2013 war, South Sudan have been in crisis for 4,414 days. Since the conflict in 2013, we have been suffering for 4,414 days. That is a very, very big number. For all these days, we have been suffering. We have been in conflicts. There have been days of sorrows, days of fear, days of death. So this is what we have been going through. So when we have been fighting and also being connected to killing each other, so the days that we have been in pains, the days that we have been in agony, the days that we have been destroying our country through tribalism, we have been 4,414. Imagine how many days. That is too much. And the whole world is speaking about 1,000 days that Sudan have been in war. But South Sudan have been in war for 4,414 days. And people are just speaking about 1,000. Are you seeing whereby we are being left behind? Nobody care about South Sudanese. Nobody care about us. And I don't know why that the world doesn't care about South Sudan. Because if the world care about South Sudan, we will not be in war, suffering, being refugees again for 4,414 days after getting our independence or after the war in 2013. So these have been days of silence, days of family were shattered, days of children and women were killed, days of a nation in agony. The world cannot remain silent. No, the world cannot continue to remain silent. The world must act now, and all of us, we must also act. We must tell ourselves that these 4,414 days are enough for us to suffer. For us to suffer, and we have to choose that our tribes is South Sudan. We are South Sudanese. We should stop saying Dinka. We should stop saying Nuer. We should stop saying Equatorians. Let's say South Sudanese. That is the name that is going to serve us. That is the name that is going to take us forward. Let's continue. I tell you today, I want to give you things that you have not been thinking. We have a country called South Sudan. This country called South Sudan had a founding party called SPLM. This SPLM became the father of the country. This father of the country have been divided in 2013. It was divided in 2013. How was it divided? It was divided by two politicians, which is Dr. Ruac and President Kiir. How did they divide it? It gave birth to two children. South Sudan gave birth to two children, which is the SPLM-IG and the SPLA-IO. SPLA in the government and SPLA in the opposition. So SPLA is still sitting here. And this SPLA that is sitting here gave birth to two children. And these two children is the SPLA-IG and SPLA-IO. They are all the children of SPLA. They did not get out of the SPLA. They just created the branches that made them to continue with their interest. Because their interest was not served by their father, then they move out. When they move out, then they formed. The president moved out and formed something called Tiger. Tiger, he's allied force for the government. He's allied force for the government, and also the first vice president went out and also formed also his forces. So now here we have the SPLM suffering. The father have still remained suffering, and the two sons, they're serving the interest. But there's something unique that we are going to realize later on. Who is wrong and who is right? And who should we be holding accountable and who should we not be holding accountable? So let's continue. In this SPLA, that is the father that have remained, also have the biggest son, the firstborn, called SSPDF. This SPLM party that remained behind have a firstborn called SSPDF. SSPDF is the army, right? That he's the founding for SPLM. But now since everybody left out, so the SPLM have been left in the middle. Nobody cared about them. The president only cared about Tiger, because Tiger is his elite, his forces, his soldiers. The soldiers that protect the president. So, and then the SPLA-IG also is out. The SPLA-IO is also out with their own forces. So here, the SSPDF, together with their father, which is SPLM, are still suffering. They have been left there, and that's why you see nobody cares about the salary for this SSPDF. Nobody cares about taking this building hospital for them. Nobody cares because they have been left in the middle. Nobody is for them anymore. Everybody have moved out. The two sons have moved out and left the father together with his first son. So I was thinking last night, and I came out, I realized the reason why SSPDF is suffering is because the president created his own army, his own elite, his own forces. And he only cares about Tiger. When you look at Tiger, there's nothing that Tiger lack. The Tiger always have uniform, they always have their salaries, they always have their equipment, they always go to hospital. They don't lack anything. The Tiger doesn't lack anything. But the SSPDF lack everything. Why? Because the SSPDF is for SPLM. And SPLM have been left. Then, you see, so there's no difference between SPLA-IG and SPLA-IO. You see, these are it. So when we, it's like a father having children. If your father is called John, or your father is called Deng, or your father is called Gatkwot, or your father is called Kwang, the children remains. It will be called Deng James. Gatkwot James. It doesn't change. The father doesn't change. But the children, they have different names, but they trust back to their father. So this is something that I want to let you know as a South Sudanese, that where are we? So we are the SPLM, and the country doesn't care about us. The president doesn't care about us. Nobody cares about us. We have been left here suffering with SSPDF, and everybody is moving on with their interests, with their vision, and they want to implement. So when these people, the president already knew his plan, where he's moving. He already knew where he's moving, and that's why he created his own elite forces called Tiger. So when he created Tiger knowing he's going to manipulate South Sudanese. He's going to move for a long time, because he did not remain in the SPLM. No, he also formed SPLA in the government. So there's already the government. We have SPLA in the government. This is very important that I want you to understand. We have the SPLM in the government and SPLM in the opposition. So SPLM is already here. The government is sitting, and then the government have two sons. So this is something that I want us to take very, very, very seriously, because this is where we are. Now, these people decided to make sure that they are going to use fear and tribalism, because when they check the SWOT analysis, their strength is by making sure that we are divided. fear and tribalism. And this is the biggest problem that we are going through now. Everybody fear. And that's why in my live show here, a very respectful, responsible man that have children will just come and start abusing me before even hearing what I'm saying. Another one will go to another Dinka live, and then who is a Dinka or maybe it's a Choli in his life, they will start abusing them just because they are Dinka or they are Nuer, without hearing what they are coming to say. Why? Because that is the fear and the tribalism that we already have in our minds. And I'll take you through. I'll take you through how this, why do we think like that? I'll take you through why do we think like that? Why, when you see a Dinka, the first comment that come out is something bad in your mind? Why do you see Nuer, the first comment that come out is bad in your mind? Because at the end of the day, we are all suffering. At the end of the day, we have been left with our SPLM. And then SSPDF is being used. And that's why the only time the SSPDF become useful and become important is when they are now going to fight for war. Because the tiger will always remain to protect the president within his territory. Because within Juba, that's when the tiger remains. The tiger doesn't go anywhere. The tiger continues to remain where? To remain in Juba. They don't go anywhere because where the president is, tiger is. But SSPDF is only for us. Me and SSPDF and you, we are the same. We are all suffering. There's no development for you. There's no development for SSPDF. And that's why you see them falling down on the street every day because there's no food for them. There's no medicine. They don't go to the hospital. So me and you and SSPDF, we are in the same umbrella. We are all suffering. And that's why it's so unfortunate that we come and we speak bad about the SSPDF and they don't know their roles. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing because they were created, they were just collected. You bring your uncle, you bring your cousin, they are put there, they are given ranks, they are not even trained, they are not even being showed what is their duty. So we will start abusing them, we'll start mock, but in reality, they are very innocent. They are only being used when it's come to the time of protecting. Yeah. When it's come to the time the president wants to protect himself from far, then he will send the SSPDF to go kill each other, that he continue remaining with what? With tiger. And remember, tiger have everything. They don't lack anything. They have good hospitals, they have food, they have uniform, they're always smart. If you see them all the time, they're always smart. And they're being protected. They already have their own leaders. And when anytime you hear about tiger, it's something special. There's a lot of consideration. And you remember last time when a leader was removed and then there was this guy, Mai came out, and when he said he's going out, immediately there was some things that were done. There was changes that immediately were done. Why? Because this belongs to the president. He's for himself. He's not for anybody, right? So that is something that I want you to know before we start mocking or before we start abusing or speaking bad about our SSPDF. These are innocent people just like us. They're just being used and they are being left here. Nobody care about them because they are just there to be used at the moment. Just like me and you, we are just here to be used. When the time of tribalism comes, they tell you, these are Nuer, they are bad. These are Dinka, they are bad. These are Choli, they are bad. And we take it the way it is like that because it's fear that is being put to us. The Dinkas are being told, if you let a Nuer come to power, they are going to kill you. And the Nuer are being told, if you let a Dinka come into power, they are going to... So there's this fear and tribalism. This is the strongest tool that the government, the president, is using to make sure he divides us. And I think it's high time we should start finding out. We should start digging more and digging more and digging more so that we don't continue. In 2025, we're not supposed to be in the same situation we have been in for, imagine, 4,414 days of suffering that we have been suffering. In the name of, I am a Dinka, you are a Nuer. How is that affecting us? Imagine when it's come to basketball and when it's come to football. Do you even remember you're a Dinka or a Nuer? You always find yourself in the stadium and you play and you do this. That shows that we don't care about all these things. We don't care about whatever happens around. It's only that any time that these elderly people inject these things in our mind, and then we start hating each other. Because if we really hate each other, we will not be sitting in the basketball place watching basketball together in the TV and laughing and going to clubs together and dancing together. No. It's because this is something that the government see they can use to destroy us. So you need to liberate yourself. I need to liberate myself from fear and from tribalism. Because the only tool they're using is fear and tribalism. And if we don't move out of that, they will continue to use us and to use us. And this is 21st century, 2026. We should not continue being used like we did not go to school. There's our doctors. We have a lot of people that are intelligent. They are going to, and why? No anymore. It is too late for that. And I feel sorry for them because we are going to move forward. We are not going to fear any, Nuer are not going to fear Dinka. Dinka are going to, and also I'm telling to any forces outside there that is thinking or you want to go and kill the Dinka, that is thinking or you want to go to kill the Nuer, and you're thinking of you want to go and kill the Murle, and you're thinking that you want to go to kill the Shiluk. I'm here to remind you that all these people, you and I and everybody, we're just being used. And we have to be smart. We have to style up. Whoever wants to fight, our fight should be the president. Our fight should be the president. Because he is the one who took our government and he's using the government to destroy us, scattering us, divide and rule style that he's using. So you should not think of you want to go and I don't know, you want to go and kill who. Don't go to any state. Don't go to any, please go to Juba, because that is where we have a common enemy now, which is Juba, the government in Juba. Not all the government, because the government is different. We have the SPLA-IG, which is our enemy now, that want to kill all of us, want to finish us. So whoever want to fight, let all our eyes head to Juba. Don't pass any county, don't pass any state, because our problem is in Juba. Our problem is not in the states. All these people are innocent. The women and the children, they're the ones suffering in the communities. No schools, no road, no nothing, no hospital. We are all suffering equal. So we have a common enemy that is eating our resources. We have a common enemy that is taking our resources to fund conflict. Like recently, you saw there were what? There is these helicopters that were brought. These helicopters, they were not brought for nothing. They were money. That is our resources. That is our resources that should be funding schools, that should be funding hospitals, that should be building roads, but it's being used to fund military. And there's another thing I want to bring into your attention. Whether you are who and who, as long you are the 64th tribe of South Sudan, these militias that they want to bring, it's called Wagner, these militias, they don't kill anybody by maybe gunshots or what. They are people who will come. They take the organs, they take the hearts and the kidneys. Those are, wherever they are, try to research. What I found out last night, it is going to be one of the worst things that is going to happen in the history, because we South Sudanese were very innocent, especially the women and the children in the villages. We don't know how to protect ourselves. We don't know how to be safe. And these people are going to, this is the work they are going to do. If you accept, I accept, and I allow them to make sure they are brought into the country, they are people who trade in kidneys and heart. And South Sudan is our country. And trust me, they will not know who is a Dinka, they will not know who is a Nuer, they will not know who is a Shiluk. They will just see you, see your heart, and see your kidney. And we are going to finish. And the resources of South Sudan will be eaten by other people. So we need to wake up. We need to be smart. We need to work together. You don't have to think as a Dinka now. You don't have to think as a Nuer. Let's think as a South Sudanese. Anytime anybody asks you, what tribe are you? My tribe is South Sudan. I am a South Sudanese. That is enough. We don't have to go anywhere, because this issue of identifying ourselves with these colors, it doesn't change anything. It's just a way that we are being put there. So we have to coexist for us to survive. I will remind you again, if this malicious comes to Juba, come to South Sudan, they will not know who is a Dinka or who is a Nuer or who is a Equatoria. They will only see your heart and your kidney, because that's what they're known for. In the countries they are, ask in Central Africa Republic what they're doing there. They're taking people's heart and people's kidneys. And that's the same thing that we'll do in South Sudan. So don't think that it's going to be the Dinka alone or the Nuer alone, it's going to be all of us. Anytime they find you, they kill you and they take your heart and your kidney. And that's what they were going to finish us, because we don't know how to protect ourselves. We have been in war for several times. We don't know the measures of how to be safe. So we cannot accept such an enemy to come to our country and continue to destroy our country even more. No, not anymore. Now, let's go here. There's this Tiger. Who is Tiger? And earlier I came and I post, because after my research I always make sure that there's a small post that I'll put there to highlight you that there is something that is happening here you need to have a look at. So when I post something there, go and dig more, so that you need to learn on yourself, you need to know. So this Tiger, how can a president who created Tiger force to protect only himself to lead 64 as one nation? How can the president who created an army, elite for himself, lead 64 tribes? So he's not there for you and me. He's there for himself. He's there not even for his children. Because if he cared about his children, he will not be behaving and doing the things that he's doing. But he's doing all these things because he doesn't care about anybody. A real leader does not rule behind an elite guide. If he was a real leader, he will not use forces. He will not create himself an army within the army. I was trying to categorize this Tiger, and I didn't get the space for Tiger. So president and Tiger is one thing. A real leader stands with his people. But President Kiir stands with Tiger and his own individuals, people that are loyal to him, that he can trust and continue to manipulate and continue to use. A very good example of the person that have been used well by President Kiir is Ezekiel Lol Gatwa. Ezekiel Lol is one person that have shown the president that he's so loyal that he can do anything to his tribe just to be with the president. And it's so a shame how I was asking myself, if I'm with someone who says he or she loves me and is going killing my children, so how does that person love me? This is a question we should be asking ourselves. So loyalty to Salva Kiir means you have to kill anything. So to me, I was asking myself, before they used to say there is this something called you have to sacrifice your, so I'm like, okay, so have Salva Kiir become that ritual that everybody have to sacrifice his own family to show him that he's loved or they can be loyal to him? That is a question for you. So when one man is shelled by a private army while citizens face bombs, anger and fear, unity dies. You see, he already killed the unity, because this side he's bombing the Nuer people. This side is not even giving the Dinka that he comes from development or medicine or food. You remember last year, everybody was attacked by cholera. And Warap, where the president comes from, there were people were being treated under trees. There were no hospital. They were putting the mattress on the floor and they were treating them under trees. So there's no difference. We are all equal. The only thing that is blinding us is the tribalism and the fear. But we are all the same. We are all suffering. So if when the Agwelek and the Dinka are not being bombed, then they are being bombed by what? They are being bombed by anger. They are being bombed by lack of development. They are being bombed by killing even each other, because there have been a lot of wars between the Dinka land, but they don't speak about it, because it's going to be a shame that the president is ours and we are killing each other. They don't talk about when the Dinka kill themselves, but they have been killing themselves seriously. The Dinka community have been killing themselves a lot, but nobody talk about it, because there's something that they say we have to protect. Yeah, they have to protect their name. How can you protect your name by killing yourself and you don't speak about it? So when the Nuer are being bombed with helicopters and it's so loud, then the Dinka, the Agwelek, and everybody is being killed by lack of medicine, is being killed themselves. Also, they have their own tribals. So it's not even. Everybody is being divided. Nobody is safe in any corner. So at the end of the day, because we don't talk, because we don't research, our eyes have been blind by tribalism and fear, then we just sit. But in reality, we are all suffering. We are all the same. We are all the children of SPLM, and also SSPDF is part of us. President only care about Tiger. He doesn't care about anybody. He only care about Tiger. Right? So let's continue. When one tribe is armed to guard power, trust between communities is destroyed. You see, when you look at Tiger, President Kiir is a special people. And you don't find a lot of tribes there. It's only the Dinka community. And it's not all the Dinka community. You don't find even there are Williams from there. You don't find even from the other side. You only find mostly his own community from Warab. These are the only that comes from there. That's the only army that... So that means this is doing this and this destroy us. He doesn't trust anybody. These are people he can die with. And he have already destroyed their minds, telling them, yeah. But the question is, where will Tiger go after Salva Kiir? Where will they go after Salva Kiir? So the Tiger also need to start thinking as South Sudanese. They need to start thinking that one day, this country called South Sudan is their country. They should start thinking that no, this Salva Kiir, after him, where are we going to go? Because we have young people. The Tiger are young people. And they're being used without us knowing. And they're being used in a way that to destroy their lives and the lives of South Sudanese. But at the end of the day, they're also being used because they're being blindfolded by tribalism and also by fear. So here, they're also part of the team that they're also being feared. So such a leader destroy the country. South Sudan need one nation, what army? A presidential tiger? Nay, 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 nay. If Salva Kiir was for the people of South Sudan, if Salva Kiir was ready to be a leader for South Sudanese, there was no reason that Salva Kiir was going to do what? To develop Tiger allied forces that only answer to him. Even Paul Nang have nothing to do with Tiger. No. Tiger is only answering to Salva Kiir. Is Salva Kiir forces. His own allied forces. So that is something that I want you to start thinking. Why will he think of bringing this if he really wanted to lead us? So him, no. He have not been thinking about us. He thought about himself really well, right? Let's continue. Power should serve the people, not hunt them. Power should serve us, the South Sudanese, not to hunt us. No, that one I refuse. And there's something very important that I want to bring into your cross. I want to say I am so sorry to my sister that was raped in prison. Thank you for coming out and finding a way and letting us know, even in the prison, there is also some corruption. Every corner of South Sudan needs reforms, including the rivers. Every part of the country needs reforms. Human beings, animals, water, anything, even the birds, they need reforms. So I am so sorry that you had to go through that, because you being imprisoned, doesn't mean that your body can be used. If there's a crime maybe you did, you cannot be used. You cannot be raped in prison. That is not right. That is a crime. And they should not drag you and then sleep with you. So to me, I am just here to say thank you for coming out and letting the world know and letting the South Sudanese know. Because you are not supposed to be raped in prison. If you made a crime, then you have to be saved in prison, but not to be used. You are not a tool to be used. And these are things that are happening to our women. And also maybe to the boys that are inside. There are more information that are inside that nobody talks about. So our country have been calling for reforms. Our country have been calling for revolution, for the real, like a real freedom. We don't have freedom. We don't have freedom to talk. Whether you are a Dinka, you are a Nuer, nobody talks. Because the fear, oh, I will be captured and taken to Blue House. To a level of they came up and they made a bill that you'll be arrested without an arrest warrant. And when I came out before and I talk about it, a lot of people are saying, oh, you are a rebel. But now it's working on everybody. Everybody start crying. You are now seeing it. And even the same bill, immediately it was signed, who did it arrest? It arrests General Akolkor. So it was made by these people. It was made for them. The people that they could not manage to get them, so they made this bill, and the people that made the bill, make sure the bill was signed, are the first people that are put inside. You see? So there's a word that they say in Nuer, malarima jia la riakaro. Kama larima gwa la riakaro. Shak jia la jia na gwande. So they say, if you're doing something good, you are doing it for yourself. If you are doing something bad, you are doing it for yourself. If you do something bad, that bad thing will get you. That's what it says in Nuer. Like malarima la riakaro. Kama larima gwa la riakaro. So General Akolkol worked so hard to make sure this bill is signed, but he was the first person that was put inside by the same bill. And if you go to TikTok or you go to my Facebook page, look for the videos, you will find the video that I said, you accepted to sign this bill, but I pray that this bill will act on you before it's act on us. And there's power in the words, there's power in the tongue. Anything you say, it's happened. So we have to be very careful on what kind of laws you allow, because you don't know who these laws are going to act on. You might not be in that position forever. So don't make laws that will affect people, forgetting it will not affect you. It affects all of us. You see, let's continue. There is something that I want to bring into your attention. Tribalism. Fear. Fear. Right? Fear. I want to go through some few proverbs that I've come up with that will be able to explain to us about fear and tribalism better. Right? One of them. Tribalism and overcoming divisions. Because tribalism is dividing us, is division. Right? Division. So, division, all of us have been divided. Anytime you think of a Dinka, you think bad. Anytime you think of a Nuer, you think of killing them. You see, anytime you think of a Dinka, you want to kill them. Anytime you think of a Nuer, you want to kill them. This is in the mind. The division is in the brain. It has sticked for 4,414 days. Imagine, 4,414 days, tribalism have been put into our brain, and it have stick to our blood and our bones. And this one is very dangerous. I remember when I was in Nairobi those days, if you go to ACK, you'll find the Dinka community praying, God give us our land. When you go to the Nuer churches, oh, God give us our land. When you go to the Equatorial, it's the same. We were having one prayer request. God give us our land. That was the prayer request, and that's why God gave us our land. Prayer request was God give us our land. And now, after we got our land, we forgot. We start preaching, Dinka kill each other, Nuer kill each other. Everybody we forgot that. And God had to punish us. Because God always punish the children that he loves. So we have been punished. And only us can remove ourselves from this punishment. Right? So let's continue. Now, this can be powerful in South Sudan for helping people reflect and heal. We have to reflect and heal. There is something that is very important here that we South Sudanese have. When it comes to basketball, we forget about we are Dinka, Nuer, Equatoria, or Shilluk. We all rush and we welcome them in the airport. We all go and watch them when they are playing. This is something that is unique. That shows that we don't have that hatred too much. It only comes after some point. We don't have it. Because if we hate it, we will not sit together. We will not eat together. We will not celebrate together. And you see, during the independence, you find everybody is running to Isora, everybody is going to Terekeka, everybody is going to Luri. People are celebrating together as South Sudanese. The youths. And we are the majority. And this is also a very important sign that healing in South Sudan will be very easy. It's not going to take too much time because we already know each other. We also have musicians that unite us. We have football that unite us, though our football, the bright star always let us down. But yeah, we always go there and we feel ourselves Sudanese and we celebrate them. Even if we know one day we are going to be there. We know one day we are going to be champion. We know one day we are going to play and win. Because in South Sudan, sport is ours. Just give us time. Whereby when we have resources and we invest in any sport, South Sudan will be full of medals. Every sport will be bringing medals back home. Starting from this basketball. If we all start focusing, we are going to bring a lot of medals. A lot of medals are going to come home to our country. So, this one, yeah, we just need to remove this fear and the tribalism and everything is going to be okay. And I'm not worried because I know it's going to be a short time for us to do what? For us to be able to liberate ourselves. Because you see the Nuer are dancing the Dinka song. The Dinka are dancing the Nuer song. So you don't even, sometimes you are like, why do we say that we kill each other, we hate each other? We don't hate anybody. We don't hate anybody. We are South Sudanese and we always just come in when it's come to fear and tribalism. Then we're like, okay. But sometimes mostly we don't remember when we are doing these things. So we have to start accepting that our tribe is South Sudan. I am a South Sudanese. Which tribe are you from? I am a South Sudanese. That's enough. We don't have to go into details because going to these details will start reminding us a lot of things. I will also include some African wisdoms that works well, even if not from one single tribe. I try to collect a lot of proverbs that are going to help us go through how can we heal very fast. These are the ones I will read now. They are proverbs about fear. And you will understand why are we stuck there. 1, fear is a story we tell ourselves. You see, fear is a story the Dinka tell themselves. The Nuer tell themselves. The Equatorian tell themselves. You don't tell to the other tribe. Right? You don't tell to the other tribe. So fear is a story we tell ourselves. We recognize it in the mind. We recognize it in the mind. And that's why all the time when it's click, you're like, oh, you realize something you were told before. Because it was something that was planted in your brain. So sometimes you did not work for it. So sometimes it's just a fear. And you tell yourself, no, I was wronged. No, like this lady that was raped. I'm so sorry. She was raped. So the fear she have is a fear she will only tell herself. There are things that even when she came out and talked, there are things that she did not mention. Because these are things within her. That is fear. She can only tell to herself, not to anyone else. And then another one is, who is afraid of asking is ashamed of learning. He who is afraid of asking is ashamed of learning. Sometimes you need to ask. When people talk to you about the Dinka were killed in 1991, the Nuer were killed in 2013, yes. How? Why did it happen? What led to this? These are the questions we need to ask. Some people only know 2013, something happened. 1991, something happened. But how did it happen? We don't know. But you need to ask yourself those questions. And why did it happen? And to who did it happen? Where? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself so that you know you have enough, you can reason beyond and you can accept. But if you don't do that, then it's going to be an issue. And thank you so much for calling me stupid. I accept because I'm still learning every day. So there's something I don't know. Thank you for giving me that name. Ruac. Let's continue. Fear stops growth. If you fear, you don't grow. Because let's say, for example, you want to do a business in Warap. Or you want to do a business in Unity State. Or you want to do a business in Akobo. And you are from another tribe. And you think your people and other people, they hate each other. So you will not be able to implement or you will not be able to do that business because of fear. So you will not grow. You see what fear can do for us? Fear will not let you have a consortium because you can come together, a Dinka and a Nuer, and when you come together, you can be able to build something. Let's say, for example, we have ITs. Maybe we have 3 ITs from different communities. Because of fear, you will not come together and build something big. Maybe you can come together and build an app that we are going to use. Maybe you can come together and build a robot. But because of this fear, you will not grow. Because there's fear and there's tribalism. So you will not do what? You will not grow. Let's continue. Remember, these are proverbs of fear. We have not yet gone to tribalism. This is fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but walking forward despite it. We have to every single day, you need to check. There's a reason why we have back and front and left and right. There's a word that the Christians always say, that I've decided to follow Jesus, no turning back. They go forward. They don't turn back. I think they say, I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. So when you decide that from today, I will not hate Dinka if you're a Nuer. And you decide from today, I will not hate the Nuer if you're a Dinka. And the same to other tribes. And then you say, no turning back. And then from there, we are going to be very powerful and we are going to move forward and we are going to build our country and nobody will come and take our resources. Because the more we are fighting here, the more our resources are getting out. I told you yesterday that you cannot eat your cake and have it at the same time. If you already eat it, you eat it. You cannot have it. What does that mean? If you decide to tell your resources, if you decide to make sure that you will eat, you cannot eat the cake and have it So when you decide to sell your resources so that you can to Uganda so that they can give you weapons, you cannot have it again back. They will be the one to make decision on what to do with your resources. They will be the one to make decision on where your gold will be sold. They will be the one to make decision on where your oil will be sold. They will be the one to make the decision of how much price you are going to use to sell this oil. So you don't have power. Like our oil is being sold by other people, not sold by me and you, not sold even by the president. There are some people that need to be consulted for our oil to be sold. Why? Because we cannot eat our cake and have it at the same time. We are already eating the resources, the results that come from it, so we cannot have it back. Those are the people to make decisions. You see, it's like, for example, you have seen in some movies, what do? Somebody come and you sell them your house. Or they come and trick you and you give them your house. And later on you want to go, no, it's already too late. You can't do that because you already give it to them. It was your house, but now it's their house. And there's nothing you can do. And they will send you out the way they want. They will treat you the way they want. We can do better than this, South Sudanese. It's not yet too late. Imagine 4,414 days since the crisis in 2013. That is a long time. That is a long time. And the world is just making noise about Sudan war because they have been in war for only 1,000 days. And we have been in war for 4,000 days. No. Why? Because we are resilient. Because we have resources and people are interested in our resources. You see, people want our money. People want our oil. People want our gold. People want our land because our land is fertile and they want to come and do what? They want to come and plant it. So, we are all victims here. We are all suffering here. We are all, the umbrella of problems is covering all of us. So we have to decide to move forward from our tribes. We have to decide to move out from the fear and become South Sudanese. Let's continue. A man who runs away from fear runs into danger. A man who runs away runs from danger. When you avoid fear, when you avoid it and you let it grow, you can even get shocked and have a heart attack. A very good example, let me give you. Who fear too much? In a situation like South Sudan, let's say you find somebody sleeping with your wife as a man. You find someone sleeping with your wife. And you did not manage to catch that person and the person ran away. Between you and that person, who will live in fear? Who will live in hiding? Who will check all the time? The person that you found sleeping with your wife will always live in fear because they don't know when you will appear. So all the time they will live in hiding. And anytime they can have a heart attack. If somebody surprises them, you see, so running away, that person should come and face you and say, I am sorry, I did this, and then you solve it. But if they decide to run away, the problem continues. It continues. You see? So here, let's see. What is this fear? Fear is a big disease that is making us not to grow. That is making us to hate each other for nothing. And the more we hate each other, the more we don't grow, the more our resources are being eaten by other people. Like South Sudan, we have around almost, I don't know, almost millions, 2 million or 3 million other tribes from other world, foreigners that are in South Sudan. They are enjoying our resources. They are working in big places. And as we are suffering in the name of Dinka and where we are killing each other, we think of that. But at the end of the day, we sleep hungry. You look for jobs, you don't find jobs. Why? Because the jobs have been taken. And we remain there. And you can't work in Kenya. You can't work in Somalia. You can't work in Uganda. But these people work in South Sudan. Why? Because they have created this environment. We only fight each other and they come and take our resources. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need each other. Our hands together will build big things. Another thing is, I remember before, the first time I told you, we have SPLA. To those who are not here before, we have SPLA. And then we say this SPLM have 2 children. Who are these 2 children of SPLA? We have SPLA IG and we have SPLA IO. The SPLA IG is SPLA in the government, and we have SPLA in the opposition. So these are the 2 sons of SPLA. And then we said one of these SPLA, which is the president, the SPLA IG, have his own army called Tiger. So he doesn't care. Nobody cares about SSPDF. The SSPDF, they are being left hanging just like me and you, we are hanging. So there's no difference between me and SSPDF. We are all hanging. Nobody cares about us. We have been left here in the middle. This one have his forces, this one have his forces, and we are all in the middle suffering together with SSPDF. And that's why we come and say, our army are not being paid. They say 2 years, 3 years without salary. And the salary is being given is $35,000, which is $6. What can $6 do? $35,000 now, what can it buy? And these people, they have wives, they have children, they need to also buy phones, they need to also live a luxury life. Their wives need human hair. Because the human hair, the makeup, the what, their women also need that. Just like our women need that, their women also need that. And there is something that is very important that I want to bring into your attention that is making, that is also contributing too much into this. We are not celebrating, since 2013, we have not been celebrating the Independence Day of South Sudan. How does this independence of South Sudan not being celebrated contribute to too much tribalism and too much fear? Because we cannot come together and hear our leaders speaking. We cannot come together and see the histories of the freedom fight when they, for 21 years, fight, when they were fighting for South Sudan. We don't hear the stories. Nobody speaks to us about these stories. They hide them. And that's why we don't know, me and you will feel too much pain and say, no, I have to protect this country because a lot of people lost their lives so that you can get South Sudan. When we see that, we will not think about tribalism. We'll think about, I want to protect the sovereignty of my country. I want to build South Sudan. I want to pick from where the freedom fighter left, where the martyrs had to lose their life for us to get South Sudan that we have today. But what so they don't, the president always come and say, there's no money, there's no resources. For what? For this Independence Day. But is it because there's no resources? No, it's because they want to make sure that we continue becoming in fear and we continue being in tribalism. Because when we see that the road to freedom, how it was, we are all going to decide individually to build South Sudan. And we are not going to think of tribalism. And that's why the president makes sure that we don't implement or we don't celebrate the Independence Day. Since 2013, how many years is that? That is 4,414 days of suffering, days of no independence. And that has shattered us. It has contributed to what we have today. If there's any question, please. And then attempt, please wise up. Choose to be a South Sudanese, or this page is not for you. You either choose being a South Sudanese or this page is not for you. So let's go to Proverbs about tribalism and division. We already finished fear. A single bracelet does not jingle. No tribe can succeed alone. Unity is strength. You cannot succeed alone. I cannot succeed alone. We all need, they say also in Nuer, terkel erode pat. Like, you hear the sound. But if I try to clap it alone, it cannot. So they say terkel erode pat. Why are they saying terkel erode pat? That one hand cannot clap itself. So you cannot do anything alone. So here we say, no tribes can succeed alone. Unity is strength. Yeah? Unity is strength. You Dinka need Nuer. You Nuer need Dinka. You need Equatoria. You need Shiluk. You can mention them. We need the three greater. The greater Equatoria, the greater Barghazal, and the greater Upper Nile. We need these three greater. Together, we will build South Sudan. Without one of us, we are going to continue dying. We will not move anywhere. And actually, the three number, I always tell you that South Sudan is a spiritual country. It's not just any country. It's a spiritual country. The three numbers are God number. We have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And we have the greater Upper Nile, the greater Equatoria, and the greater Barghazal. So this is a God number. So anytime you want to speak about South Sudan is a spiritual country. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. This spider, the webs, that you find a spider here, you find a spider there, and the one, when they unite, we can tie up a lion. What does it mean? If we come together as South Sudanese, there is nothing that can defeat us. There is nothing that can defeat us. Together, we can do anything. If we decide today we are choosing ourselves, if we decide today we are choosing South Sudan, we will do what? We will be able to be very far away. We can build South Sudan in 2 years. We can build South Sudan in 3 years. And everybody will be surprised. Because we have resources. We don't have to go and ask resources from outside. We have our resources. We just need to build our resources. And sometimes, let me tell you something. When it's kind of about tribalism, there is something unique about tribalism that I have to bring into your attention. What is unique about tribalism? Whoever have hurt you, the way you were hurt, people don't speak about it frequently. If your relative were killed, it's pain you. So people don't speak about it anyhowly. But those who did not face it are the ones that make noise too much. A very good example is here. There was the war of 1991. This war of 1991, it happened between Dr. Ruac and Dr. John Garang. And it happened to the people of Bor and some few. But you don't find Bor people coming out and talking about it. They don't talk about it. But the Barghazal people comes out and talk about it every single day. Something small, 1991. But it was not the Barghazal people that were killed. But why are they pushing it? Because Salva Kiir want to continue using this 1991 thing. Every time he go to church, he speak about 1991. Anytime he's in the church, he speak about 1991. Up to the level of now, he have changed it. He said in the church that in 1991, Riek Machar fought him. But in reality, if you read the history, in 1991, it was Dr. Riek Machar and Dr. John Garang that were fighting. Salva Kiir had nothing to do with that. But he come now because he want to change the story and because it doesn't pain him. Because he want to continue using these 1991 things to continue to divide the people. He comes out all the time and say, oh, 1991, Dinka, Riek Machar. Riek Machar did not fight Salva Kiir. It was Riek Machar and Dr. John Garang who fought because Dr. John Garang was fighting for New Sudan and Dr. Riek Machar was fighting for was advocating for the new Southerners, for South Sudan that we have today. So that was the reason why these people are fighting. So it's not the Dinka people, Dinka Bor that are coming out and speaking about it. but it's Salva Kiir and the Dinka Bargazal who are coming and speaking about it. And they don't even know how it's feel. Because if you are wronged, you ask the Nuer, they don't speak about 2013 anyhowly. They don't speak about it because that is a year they lose very important people. And that's the same thing with the Dinka board. They don't come and speak about 1991 because it hurts them while people are killed. So you see the way we are being used so that we can be divided and discontinue. And Dr. Riek Machar went those years and he went and asked for forgiveness from Boer people. And whatever happened with them, they forgive each other. But today, he's still being used by President Kiir and he's trying to turn the history of South Sudan. President Kiir is trying to turn the history of South Sudan, saying that Dr. Riek Machar fought him in 1991. This is a big lie. And that's the reason why Salva Kiir is not implementing celebrating the Independence Day for 4,414 days. Why? Because he wanted to turn the story. He wanted to look like, yes, he was fought, and he's going to the church and say, how do you forgive somebody every day, every day, every day? Is that forgiveness? Because he wanted to stick in the mind of the people. We have to wise up, South Sudanese. We have to wake up. We cannot, all of us have gone to school. We are wiser than this. We are smarter than this. Let Salva Kiir use another thing, but not things to do with 1991. Every time I forgive what? It was not him to forgive because he did not fight with anybody. So we have to tell, as much as we have a problem here, yes, 2013 led to the worst distraction. After 2011, a lot of people came back home because we thought there was not going to be tribalism anymore. We thought actually there was not tribalism before. We thought there were not going to be more war. We have independence. Everybody went out home. We sing songs. We were so happy. Only did we know that only 1 year, boom, we are back to war. The war that up to today have stayed 4,414 days. That 4,414 days will have developed South Sudan, and now Dubai will be nothing to South Sudan. We'll be better, but like Dubai, better with far, because we have resources. And because we choose hatred, and we accept to be manipulated, we accept to be used, and this is not good at all. We should start thinking on how to heal, how to come out. We can even ask our leaders, let Salva Kiir and Riek Machar step down. Then we look for a leader as South Sudanese. And then we move forward. Because if they really love us and we think that they are not good for us, then let them stay aside. Let them watch us. Let them help us build the country. We can let them to be advisors. And then we build our country. Because we need to build South Sudan. There is something that is very important that they did. Bringing South Sudan to us, we will always be thankful. Even if what happened now, we'll always appreciate them because we have something called South Sudan today because of those people. So no matter what, we should always respect them. We should always appreciate them because they fought those years to make sure that we have something called South Sudan today. So we can never be very bitter for them because they did something beautiful, something good for us. We enjoy South Sudan today, or we can call ourselves that we have a country because of those people. So no matter what, we should never forget the good thing that they did for us. Let's continue. Cooperation across groups overcome great challenge. If we cooperate in groups now, like for example, our musicians, this is a time whereby the musicians should start singing songs of unity, songs of reconciliation. The reason why I like singing, putting this song of Golden Kwang, it's because it's uniting South Sudanese. It's a song for all South Sudanese. That's the reason why I like putting these songs. But if there are other songs that we have and are uniting South Sudanese, of course, I will play these songs. Because we need to start having songs that unite us. Songs that strengthen us. Songs that are speaking to our hearts and are speaking with the situation that we're having. Remember, the president that we're having that is top here have his own army. He have his own allied force called Tiger. So we all victims, and some of us are saying SSBDF this and that, SSBDF B and C, but the SSBDF, they're just vulnerable just like me and you. They're even more vulnerable because they're in the sites, they're being put somewhere, they don't have houses, they don't have money, and their wives also deserve the best just like us. But we are all, at least us, we are enjoying, we are working, and when we see them, we mock them. I remember before when I came that I said that we should protect and we should treat our SSPDF well. Some people, even people who are educated, were abusing me. But they don't know these people are being used. These people don't know their right. They were being picked from somewhere because they are being brought. This one is bringing their relative. This one, they are not trained. They don't know their duty. They don't know their call. And that's why they have to be taken back to training barracks. They have to be trained again. They have to be shown what is their duty, is to protect the sovereignty of South Sudan. But what did they do? The UPDF was brought and then they were mistreated and UPDF was put here. The sovereignty of the country is being sold out in our watch. And people shed blood for this country called South Sudan. This country that we want to destroy today, some people shed blood for 21 years plus for it to be called South Sudan today. So we should always remember that some people lost their life because of this beautiful country called South Sudan. Rain does not fall on one roof alone. Rain, it doesn't fall in only the Dinka roofs or the Nuer roofs or the Equatorial roofs. It's fall to all of us. So what does that mean? Hardship, lack of medicine, lack of school, lack of roads, lack of development at large. That one is not only to one tribe, it's hitting all of us. I remember late last year, Corona came. No, this one is called what? Cholera. The cholera hit everybody. Everybody was affected by Corona. Whether you were Dinka or Nuer, we were all suffering. And there were no medicine. There were no emergency. It was the UN and also this organization that was struggling about us, trying to save us. So we should always remember that hardship affects everyone. No tribe is alone when it comes to hardship. The economy now is booming in the bad way. And it's booming in the bad way to all of us. There's no food in the country. It's all of us that are suffering. We should start thinking, how can we make sure that we have water? We bring water to ourselves. We don't wait for Eritreans to come and bring water for us. Imagine Eritreans come from their country. They come and fetch water from our house and bring to us. You see, that is funny. They come from their country to fetch water for South Sudanese. And we just sit. And when they try strike, we complain. Imagine. Huh? So you see. And there is something. Okay, Morgan, let me tell you something. The reason why you think that I am an agent of tribalism, it was early last year. But before 2020, I was fighting for South Sudanese. But because I've seen the Dinka community don't want to accept that this government is not for them, what did I do? I make sure the war, Nasser war, I make sure to make the Dinka people realize they're not part of this government. Then we start fighting. It's between Dinka and Nuer. And then the Dinka came and said, no, we are not part of it. This government is for Salva Kiir. We are not even benefiting. Today we are here. Everybody's fighting for unity. Everybody's fighting for, we have been suffering all. So in my heart, I don't hate any tribe. If you try to flash back, go back to my videos that are here, videos of 2022, videos of 2023, videos of 2024, you will realize, yes, this lady you are calling a tribalist now, you are making a very big mistake. I just did a style to make you people realize that we have a common problem as the South Sudanese. Yeah. There's something that is said that dawa ya moto ni moto. The medicine for hotness is hotness. When it's hot, you are told to drink tea. Yes, that is what you needed to realize this. Because you didn't want to accept that you are also being a victim. You didn't want to accept that this government is also affecting you. So you left the Nuer people to continue to fight the government alone. But today, yes, how many people have been used? In the Dinka community, a lot of people have been used. Look at somebody like Tilardeng was used. Malongawan was used. Akolkol was used. The next person that was being used is who? Is Bolmel. Everybody have been used differently. Yeah. We are all being used. But because you don't want to say the truth, because you say, maybe you will share the fear. The fear of saying that you will. You see, you want to protect the Dinka name. How many Dinkas have been killing themselves in the Dinkas community? So many people, but you don't come out and speak about it. Why? Because the government is from the Dinka. A government that is not helping you. A government that is letting the SSPDF to suffer. A government that doesn't even care about the women of South Sudan and children. A government that is manipulative, oppressing us in the state of why did they fight for South Sudan? If they only come today and oppress us. So that means the people that are fighting us now, these are the vision. They were not part of the vision. They were not part of the plan of this South Sudan. This South Sudan was some people plan. It was a vision that they want to come and have a country called South Sudan. And now we have it. We are not celebrating it. Instead, we are destroying it. We should go and get stories of the independence, the revolution, the story of the fight, the 21 years. How many people it's killed? What were they eating in the bush? When we hear those things, we are going to think and we are going to protect the sovereignty of this country called South Sudan. Because maybe we did not face any challenges, but some people shed blood. And we still have some of them that are the reason why we have South Sudan today. Some of them are still alive. But how do they feel seeing them? Salva Kiir is destroying this country. Leaving the SSPDF and taking Tiger to just an army for himself. How come a government, how can a president make an army for himself if he doesn't have plan to destroy South Sudan? We need to think. Leave being a Dinka, leave being a Nuer. Let's be South Sudanese. We all have a common agenda by making sure that South Sudan get back to us. Some people vote for Salva Kiir. Some people vote for independence. Some of us repeat ourselves several times so that we can have that country called South Sudan today. And then you just want to come and destroy it. It is not fair. It is not fair to you. It is not fair to Matthias. It is not fair to me. It is not fair to everybody. Yes, I knew this. Let me read for you something very important, because here I also picked the minds of the people here. There's this guy called Manyangton Magor. He said, wait, you will see the real Dinka as rebels in nearest future. We are tired of you. Thank you. President Kiir says something very important. He said before that the Abiy to the Dinka is like Gambela to Nuer. What did he mean by that? He means that even the Dinka can go to Sudan through Abiy in future. And then let me read for you something here. The two founding fathers of the country, which is Dr. Ruac and Dr. John Garang, when they were in the bush, they were conversing. What did they say? I will read for you because this is very important. You saying this, that means you are from Baragazal. And hear what I'm saying here. Dr. John Garang won. if we let Barghazal rule fast, they will probably destroy this beautiful country. I know them very well. That was Dr. John Garang saying that. He already see, if we get this country, if we let the Barghazal people become the first leading it, then they will destroy the country. And then Dr. Ruac said, he shook his head. If we don't give them the first chance to lead and benefit, they won't be our people. They will go back to Sudan like the Nubians and the Darfurians did, he said. You see, so they already know the tribe of South Sudan. They already know the 64 tribes. Who will behave how and who will behave how. They already know. So you don't have to expose yourself. The leaders that were founding this father, the two doctors, already knew who are the people they have in their country. Who are the people they have in their custody. And a lot of things, Dr. John Garang spoke about them. He warned us a lot. He even say, don't start with oil, start with agriculture. Because he knew we will lead to where we are today. So, these two leaders knew who do they have. Dr. John Garang feared that too much power in one region could tear the nation apart. Because he knew the Barghazal people loved themselves a lot. And nepotism was going to take role. And this is the same thing that took it. The same way he thought is the same way that Salva Kiir have led the country. By dividing South Sudanese and picking only his people and putting them up. And that's why you guys are very bitter, but Dr. John Garang knew who you are, and also Dr. Ruac here also knew who you are. The both of them were right. One of them feared the domination, that the one Barghazal was going to dominate the power. So Dr. John Garang feared that if we give power to the Barghazal people, they are going to dominate. Because let me tell you one thing. If we don't talk about this critical thing, that's where we have a problem. We have to start talking about them, opening them up, so that we know who we are and we move forward as South Sudanese. If we don't, we continue hiding them, we're going to have a problem. Yeah, we have to bring them up. So, and the other hand, exclusion. So, Dr. John didn't want the domination, that one tribe will dominate, one community will dominate power. But also the other hand, Dr. Ruac didn't want the exclusion. He didn't want the Barghazal people to leave South Sudan and go to Sudan. He didn't want them, just like the Nubians. He didn't want that. So, both feared for the country they loved so dearly. So these two people love the country so much. And I finish by saying, you cannot eat your cake and have it. Imagine if Dr. John Garang didn't die and he became the first president of South Sudan. Imagine if Dr. Ruac became the first president of South Sudan. How could South Sudan be? Imagine. Because these are people that had the vision for the country. Dr. Ruac was fighting for self-determination. And Dr. John Garang later on joined and said, this is a good idea. And they all fought for it and they have it. So this South Sudan today, it's a vision and mission for Dr. Ruac Machar and Dr. John Garang. This is their baby. This is their vision. This is their dream. Now they have South Sudan. So don't just open your mouth and talk too much. Try to read the history of South Sudan, how it came. And we have to start talking about these bitter things. And trust me, you will always abuse me. It's okay. It will not cut my skin. But I'll continue to tell you the truth. Unless if you don't come to my life, I will continue to tell you the truth into your face. Because this, us not talking about it, the fear of not opening up is what is killing us. And the people that are being affected too much here are the women and the children, not the men. Because the men have their own interests, but the women and the children are suffering. They don't have medicine. They don't have food. They are refugees. They are still going through suffering after getting the independence of South Sudan. No. You men, if you don't want, go. Leave South Sudan to us, the women. Because we are the people suffering here. Salva Kiir have destroyed the country just like Dr. John Garang thought. It just came the way he thought. Because he had the vision of the country. And he could see. He could imagine the South Sudan. Only God took him. If God did not take him and he we'll be very far by now. We'll look very far. Because we have resources to build our country. Let me finalize here. One finger cannot kill a louse. Everyone's effort is needed. No single tribe can do it alone. I am finishing by all of us need each other. I need you. You need me. And we already see the kind of leadership the Barghazal people can give to the South Sudanese. We already see that. So don't become so bitter here. It should be the rest of the South Sudanese becoming bitter. Because the Barghazal people, Salva Kiir have led, and you did not correct him. Instead, you continue massaging his back, calling him, some of them even are calling Ati Baba. Baba Mayardit. Abidor. So there's another plan of 2032 even that Salva Kiir is having that I don't know. This plan 2032 is what? That Salva Kiir have. That somebody have to massage his back. Ati Baba Mayardit. Abidor Plan Development 2032. I don't know what this means. So we really have to pray to God. We really need to have to pray to God for God to give us a leader. And whether you like it or not, we have three people in this country. And there's a picture. I would like you to go and look for this picture. In that picture, Dr. John Garang is in the middle of the picture. When he's in the middle of the picture, in the right hand, he was holding the hands of Salva Kiir. And in the left hand, he was holding the hands of Dr. Ruac Machar. That picture speaks a lot about South Sudan. That picture speaks a lot about South Sudan. So it's you, that picture. Go and check that picture. And all of them, if you say Dr. Ruac Machar is a rebel, even Salva Kiir was a rebel. So all of them have some similarities. And next time, I will come and show you the similarities that Dr. Ruac Machar have and the similarities Salva Kiir have. So next time, I will come and present to you the similarities of these two. But the first similarities is they are all children of SPLA. Because SPLM have two children, which is SPLM IG, SPLM in the government, and SPLM in the opposition. They are all the same. Their father is SPLA. So anytime they can go back to SPLA. And that's why they are not registered anywhere as parties. They are movements. So it's you to free yourself from hatred. Free yourself. Read the history of South Sudan.